Okay, so what we're going to look at right now is how you can multiply one or two or three or more monomials together. The first thing that's really important about multiplying monomials is that they don't have to be like terms to be able to multiply. So when you add terms, you have to add like terms only. So you can only add x's plus x's, or y's plus y's, or x squareds plus x squareds. But when you multiply, you can multiply anything together. So if we looked at the very first example here, we're asked to look at 3x squared times negative 4x. And what that actually means, the 3x squared really means 3 times x times x. That's what it means. And negative 4x means negative 4 times x. So the dots just mean multiply. So if we actually looked at that question, when you're multiplying, you are allowed to rearrange how things are written. So for example, 2 times 3 gives you the same answer as 3 times 2. So we can rearrange things, and so what we can end up doing is we can multiply the coefficients together first. So 3 times negative 4 will give us negative 12. And then we can take care of the variables. In this case, the variables are all x. So x times x times x becomes x cubed. A really easy way to do that, though, is to think in terms of the multiplication rule. In this case, my bases are the same. The base of this is x, and the base of this is x. And so when you are multiplying powers with the same base, you can add the exponents. So 2 plus 1 is 3, and that is how we get our answer. So if we look at the next one, we can do a similar thing. So we can first start by multiplying the coefficients. 2 times 3 is 6. Now in this case, the variables do not have the same base. And so this has a base of x and this has a base of y. We can't just put them together. We cannot make it x, y, 5. So all we can actually do is write them beside each other and just have them multiplied beside each other, but not make them any simpler. So that will actually be our final answer. And if we look at the last one, there might be a couple things you want to do before you tackle the question. You might want to put in your ones. For example, a squared c cubed has a coefficient of 1. Oops. So you might want to throw that in. And then you might also want to put in that this is a to the 1, b to the 1, c to the 1, a to the 1. So you might find it helpful to put the ones in. So now you're going to start by multiplying the coefficients. So negative 3 times 1 times 5 is negative, I'm not sure why that didn't write, is negative 15. Then you're going to look at each letter separately. So let's look at all the things that have a base of a. So a to the 1, a squared, and a to the 1. If we added those up, we would get a to the 4. Now let's look at the b's. B to the 1, we have no b's there, and we have b to the 4. If we added those up, that would be b to the 5. And finally, let's look at the c's. We have c to the 1, c to the 3, and c to the 5. When we add those exponents, we get c to the 9. And that will be our final answer because these bases aren't the same, so we can't go any further. So that's how you multiply 2 or 3 or more monomials together.